Welcome in, everybody. XRP's had quite a wild ride here today as we went up over $2.60, an area that we can look back on and be like, you know, there's a couple different ways that we can approach this. We're up 7.3% today. We pulled back from just about the $2.61 or 62 cent area, and we've retreated it a little bit back on a little bit of a correction, but we're on the low support right now, which, well, the mid-tier support, I should say, because that $2.52 area, there is a nice support structure, and if that holds, it could keep us from a farther drop down, and it's not a bad drop. These aren't bad things. This is back testing former levels. We never fully came even back down to the $2.29 fair value gap, so that's why we got to figure out what we're going to try to do here, because Bitcoin's having quite the drop here from, you know, at least from where it was at earlier in the day. Now it's down at $1,400, which it's not crazy, but from where it was trying to peak out at, you can see we're just getting into like maybe a corrective, a little bit of a correction here. But it doesn't look too bad. We'll go over a lot today. Crazy Paul, welcome in, along with Papa Wheelie. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Angel. Nah, we could see how he is. Angel, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you guys, my friend. Click, good evening. Wales, Josie Wales, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Daytona, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Aaron, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor, along with Timothy Perez. Thank you both. Jorge, thanks for being a very trusted mod, being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Says, hello, Tom, hello, people. Everyone, make sure you hit that like button on the way in to show your support, and consider subscribing to Tom's channel, the best technical analysis on YouTube. I appreciate that. We did go over 37,000 subscribers here in the last day or two, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I thank you all for that. Like, seriously. Nunya, welcome in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thomas Anderson, good evening. What a great first name this gentleman has. Mr. Anderson, and the last name. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Oh, man, I remember when I first started, me and him, I would always have a nice back and forth with Mr. Anderson because of the... I'd always say it reminded me of the guy from The Matrix. And then he's got my first name, too, so it's kind of a interesting ordeal. It's pretty cool. As if the finer coding is coming back at me. But very colorful. Very colorful 24 hours indeed. Very colorful indeed, DML. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Awesome. I love seeing everybody here. Love seeing everybody here. Richard, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months. Or, I mean, with over 3 months with the XP Meteor, along with Joseph Coop. Or, wait a minute. I did not see the end of that because it faded away. I tried so hard. Joseph. There's a couple of Josephs, and I don't want to say the wrong name. Joseph Euler, thank you so much. Says the like button is free, and he's in Tom's Army for over 3 months. CJ2 Pilot, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Randad, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the Diamond Hands badge. It's amazing seeing so many of you in Tom's Army for so long. It's a surreal feeling. Advocates truly says, hello, you're a genuine man, and that's why people are attracted to your channel. I like that. I like that. Thank you for saying that. I believe it's true myself. Kyle Kupiak, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Even though it's not showing it today, I know you are. I know you are. I like to acknowledge everybody at least once when they come in. And then I kind of get into business as everybody settles in. Agent Smith in the house, see? I was putting on a test, and he passed with flying colors. I know JW's watching it as well. JW's in here watching as well. For some reason, his comments, we can't see him. I don't have him blocked. Mods didn't block. I don't know what's going on. So and YouTube never has been able to figure it out. So we know he's here in spirit and in the Telegram. Another reason to join. Keith, Adam, thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Wow, a lot of people must be in here right now. A lot of people must be in here. 82 people so quickly. I was going to say that the chat's going pretty quick already. Crypto Cooter, thank you so much for being in Tom's Armor for 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor. So amazing. Oh no, Aaron, you try to get me in trouble today. Oh no. And this is something I did and it made Julie laugh. I did something on TikTok, the first video, and the balls I did was it, and I actually had my face to sore, and I said, oh no, you back again. You come here to steal my energy. No like the video, no share video. Always here to suck up my energy. And it got like 50,000 views. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what's going to get a 50,000. And then I'm like, you know, I might as well just put my content on here. Now I have like 25,000 subscribers on TikTok. And I still call it TikTok. I don't even know what the real name is. TikTok? TikTaky? But they always block my stuff. So I don't dedicate there at all. Let's see. I made a live. Jason, thank you so much, Jason Whipple. Thanks for being in Tom's Armor for 3+ months with the XRP, or the second month with Dusty Dallas Crypto News. Edgar, good evening, friend. XRP going to $5 soon. If this is truly in wave 5 now, and it does look like we're in a flag here, it's just a matter of let's do this the best way. Let's do this the best way I can think of. We all, obviously in the 5 minute, who cares, right? It's the 5 minute. We can see a little topping reversal, but we're seeing in the short time period what needs to happen for this not to have that further correction. Let me go to the other one real quick. I think it would make more sense to show you the box that we're fighting right now. That was the ascending. Get out of here. So now we're fighting this. So if you put it in real time, and when I make this a bigger chart, you'll understand. This is the big pattern formation we finally broke out of. We came up to $2.65. And remember, that's the big pivot point. I know everybody who listens to my videos, if you've been around for any length of time, you've heard the, oh, well, if we get past $2.40 and now in real time it's $2.38, I'm happy, but it doesn't change anything until we can flip 265. That's the area that if we flip, all of a sudden, this becomes very, very, very relevant. And this could very well be a bottom of wave 4. And it's just happening quick. And if this happens, oh, I gotta grab a paper towel. Something is like, I don't know what this is. Something spilled over here, though. Probably my son hit something. Hold on one sec. Good evening. 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, May 12th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XM and Future Digibyte OG, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I can certainly say one thing: you never know what kind of update you're going to get here, because guess what? If you start to understand, morning update is going to be slightly different. And today was the first day that I had my touchscreen, and this is not the touchscreen, but I have a 41-inch or 42-inch touchscreen now, and it's going to be going back and forth, because today it was farther away, so now I've got to zoom it in tomorrow. So it's going to take a few days of trial and error. But it's to keep it. It's not, people are like, oh, that's not innovative, or some people love it. It's been a lot of good feedback, but the criticism is, oh, nobody else does it. It's not innovative, so nobody else, there's a reason they don't do it. One, I don't give a fuck if anybody else does it or not. That doesn't, I don't watch anybody else except for like certain people that you guys know. I don't care about that. Whether it's innovative or not. No, I've been doing this for over 4 years, and I think doing a style, and me personally, that's just me, but I like the style of doing it something different in the morning. Afternoon, you get that short, and then at night, we come into this section. We come into the morning doc, we've got the screencast on where you're seeing my screen, and then you see me like this, but we get the business. In the morning, I can be more teacher-like. I've got it, it's a big screen behind me, it's touch screen, so I don't have to screencast it anymore. So I've at least put the money into it to where if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. But I want to keep it to where I feel like the brain's firing in different ways. So in the morning, you're like, oh, we get this style. At noon, we get this style. And then at night, for the nightly live, we get this style. And it's always something different. So, like, you're not in the morning seeing the same screen and be like, oh, well, I kind of seen this in the morning. In the morning, you're like, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore, but I'm enjoying it. But no, it helps me illuminate it in a different way. Like, it helps me do it a different way. We can... What? Did you call me, Julie? Oh, I did? Uh-oh. Hold on, everybody. Should I come get it after like 10, 15 minutes? Should I come get it after like 15 minutes? I'll come back and get it, okay? Okay. Sorry about that. I had to go get something for my son. Julie's doing his feeding and she can't exactly get up for like the next 45 minutes. So let's see. But yeah, thank you everybody for trying to encourage the likes. We got 49 likes. There's 115 people. I think that's not bad. It's less than 50%, but as we go on, I think more people will. But XRP right now, let's take this from the top here. So, right now we've broken out of this formation, and it's a big breakout because for the better part of this entire year, let's face it, we rejected here in January. Then for this entire year, for about 5 months, it took us to get out of this part of this resistance. So finally, sometime around May 5th, we got out of here on my mom's birthday, ironically. We broke out of that 222 area. Then we had to break over this 240. Now let's bring it in the daily. I think it makes it a little easier. We got over here. Now, the big part of this is we can't really... What the fuck is all this? Trading view. We can't really get out of this section until we start breaking and holding this $2.38 now in real time. But look, to me, we did round here and hold. So this is technically coming through, showing a breakdown and a break back up. Now, nice wick down. Did it identically touch 239? No, but it did come down to 242, and that is a fair pull down. And this is what I always try to say. We had a nice pull down here from about 265, 266, and it might not have hit 100%, but that's an 8.8% pull down, and this area of integrity held as support. So now if you look at it, if it wants to rise back up, it absolutely came down, and now in the 2 hourly, the 20 days trying to show us some support. Now, if we want to avoid a further come down, and this is a nice signal here. This is nice right now. Volume started crashing on the pull down. And then on that second candle, there was just nothing to bring it back down. And then it reversed here. And now in the next hour and 22 minutes, hour and 22 and 27 seconds, so 222. This determines it all. We get a candle close higher, we're going to rally up and then possibly break that 265. Now, in order to break a further correction down, you need to hold 265. And then all of a sudden, you start to be able to play this game. If we can hold 265 and clearly break back up and try to decide, because if we're over 265, now all of a sudden the buzzer's going off. Oh boy, we could be in wave 5 for real. Oh Nelly. And you know, it looks like an inverse. Oh buddy. And if that's the case, if we get back into old demand zone, my own self-anointed demand zone, but hey, they're my chart, so they're going to be the way I prescribe them, or I describe them, or I see them too. So, to me, we break through this demand zone. Yes, we're going to have to get on top of all-time highs, but we start using that as support. We know we're in full-blown discovery mode. We get into full-blown discovery mode, this is where it becomes so freaking critical, guys, that we went up here in January and said, nope, too early. We went 7 friggin' years to get out of that descending wedge. It's taken us, almost 7. But it's taken us since 2018 to get back to these levels. All these people have to sell. It's too early. So instead of the price just, here, let me show you why it excites me. Instead of the price, look at me, I got moving too fast. Instead of the price going and it just shot up, you know, where it went to the top of this zone. And then everybody's like, we got sellers here, here, here. And then it's like, phew. And you're like, well, what, but I don't want to be back in that zone, you know, and be back down there in the new supply zone again, falling back past distribution in here, you know, and then finding our way back down in this zone. That's not where I wanted to be. So what ends up happening here is it does exactly like what I couldn't have. I drew this out like this on one of my charts, but it was in the XRP market cap because I had so many charts and I didn't want to make a new one. So I just used the market cap chart to draw this years in advance. And anybody who's part of the channel, it's quite amazing how it followed this friggin' chart. I hope it doesn't follow that chart, because that was the second wave was bad. The first wave is good. Look at the first bounce. Oh, baby. And it looks like it wants to take that first level. Like, let's take that first bounce. But the XRP market cap, the crazy part of this is I made this years ago. How many of you have been here since I made this chart when we had that crash in 21 and we started making, hey guys, what if we have the Hank Hill's ass? And see, now we don't have to worry about the breakdown. We can worry about the breakout. Remember, we had either the breakdown, breakout. Looks like we're going to be fading towards the breakout, which is good. We didn't want to have a breakdown of this grand scale. Now the pattern, it's almost like we kind of broke out of a little handle maybe even. But this pattern has been sitting here, and it's just one of those things. It's like it's the biggest W we've ever seen. If it actually forms, it formed. That's the thing. This pattern actually formed. Almost dead on track. We had it calculated for December of 2024. It happened in November of 24. And that's it's unbelievable how it actually happened. So now when we start looking at this, and it's like, what does that mean though? Like, what does all of this mean? Okay, so we could be in a wave 5. What does it mean though? Like, what is the potential here? The potential is where it started. It's where it starts. And I know it sounds stupid, but the potential is where it was from the beginning. When we first started this, when we were covering this in 23, 22, after the bull cycle of 21, and the only thing we could go on was the blueprint. This motherfucker's taken 7 years. We had a failed wave there, had a WXY correction in my opinion, and it took another couple of years. But now, I don't know about you guys, but you can see this massive inverse head, shoulder. Here, I'll just draw it out. I used to have it drawn out before it had the breakup, but it's something we've watched, and this descending wedge, in my opinion, or triangle, I don't care what you denote it. We can see it's descending and it's forming a triangle. How about that? Or a wedge in a sense, because the price is getting smaller. But it's when you start looking at this, it's pretty interesting because you had a left shoulder, so left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Looks like it formed a bull flag, which would make sense. And a cup, right? The cup formed. Handle. If that's a cup and handle, this is where you get, and it's not if. I know this is a cup. I think everybody else watching this, and I'll show you the measurement I had long ago on the XRP market cap. And then we'll see the 679 or whatever. We'll come close, but every chart is slightly different. Yeah, see, that's what I had here. This is exactly how I got. That was the top end of the measurement. It just depends how far down I decided to go. I didn't go as far down, but that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, if this breaks out, if you bought XRP at 10 cents or 35 cents when we did, or 38 or 34, somewhere in that range, even if it was 50 cents, I don't care. We're splitting hairs here. So you spent $5,000 instead of $3,800 or $3,500. The point is that $3,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 investment is now worth 25 right now on 10,000 tokens, which is how you get that investment dollar amount. But if it goes up to those levels, you're talking anywhere between $54,000 and $67,000 on a $3,500 investment. But XRP never moves. Man, my pocketbook says XRP moves. That 10,000 token purchase for $3,500 is worth 25 grand, but it never moves. I hope everybody always says it never moves as my pocket gets bigger and deeper. Tanya, did you miss much? Only me rambling on. And thank you, Tanya, for being here. I love seeing you here. I swear you're one of our most popular members. Maybe the most popular member. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Unreal. So very nice. I hope you're finding solace after you're grieving. Hope you're, I love seeing you here. Let's see. That's out time. Thank you. We love you too. We love you too. So that's XRP. Zachary, you have been here since day one, but I feel like, well, you're a man, and in our audience, for Miss Vicky and Tanya, some of the females in our audience were, and I thought that they were outspoken sometimes, but they kept our audience in line. And I'm not saying you're not popular, Zachary. Let's see. Shane, you are welcome, my friend. You are welcome. You're all popular in your own right. That is so true, Tanya. I feel for you. I do. I do. I understand in a slightly different way, but not the exact way. Because every loss is different in its own right. Oh, I know, Zachary. I know, Zachary. My son's doing good. Yeah, he's getting a feeding from Julie. He has a G-tube. Some of you might know or don't know. But we go to, in 2 weeks, not this Friday, but the following Friday, we go to Grand Rapids for Memorial Day weekend. We'll be there Thursday after he gets out of school. Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday because he's got his G-tube appointment up there where they're going to change his G-tube out. And y'all remember what happened last time when he almost died. So, but that's when we did it at home. The G-tube was fine. It got changed right, but for some reason he ended up choking. And it got stuck like in his throat from like, it came up. And I was able to get it out, you know, but he was limp and blue. And it was an interesting, it was quite an ordeal. But, so we're going to go up there on Memorial Day weekend. And we get to go do that. So, but I wanted to go up there for more than just, oh, we're going to go up there for a night. And then leave right after he goes to the appointment. Because it's only like a 20-minute appointment, if that. It's a very quick appointment, but I have lots of questions. And then we're going to kind of spend the weekend there. I want to take him to the aquarium out there. I want to take him to the parks in Grand Rapids. So it's going to be a fun time. I already booked a hotel, so it's already paid for. Gets a little expensive, but I would go to the ends of the earth for him, so that doesn't bother me. Let's see. You know, I'm trying to figure out, because I looked at Bitcoin earlier, and I'm like, you know, Bitcoin, I know it doesn't look like it moved a lot today, but it needed a corrective. So it was either it was going to do this now, or this wave was going to go a little bit higher, and then it wasn't going to have any more room to go. But it filled the technical target, and this is something that if there's one thing I can get across to you this evening, it's a very simple teaching. So we had a breakout of this pattern, right? We had a technical target up. Technical target, if it made it, was 99,631. So if you bounce out and then you come up and you hit this as a rejection, round the top, and then all of a sudden it turns, well, then you know you might have topped. What happened here is, which is ironic, came up over the top, and now it's coming back for that technical target as a backtest of support. If that holds, you're going to get a continuation, and what you're going to find here is that was the start of an inverse, or that was the inverse head, and then you got a left shoulder, big head, rounding for a right shoulder, and this thing's going to come up here to somewhere like 148 or 150K. That's what I hope happens. If that happens, I think if I'm being honest, no, I don't want to say too much until it happens. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised if we find ourselves up there. Because I have a strange feeling that, and fuck it. I'm just going to say it. I've been saying it before. If you're here now, you're going to hear it one time in 12 seconds. That's the beauty of being in the lives. Huge left shoulder, huge head, possible formation of a huge friggin' right shoulder. If that's the case, hello, happy days. Oh my God, we are gonna have so much fun. Like, it's just gonna be so much fun. I gotta save that for sunny days. Like, oh, buddy. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, JD Vance, not exactly. Nah, they're not going to kill the Bitcoin. See what I'm trying to explain to everybody, why this is going to happen. And if it happens and we start to have this progressive push up like we've been and it maintains, is if this keeps happening now and then we get QE, which is quantitative easing, and we get rate cut in the federal funds rate, I've been saying this is the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of mankind. I'm telling you, that's a huge inverse head and shoulders. Like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I tend to know a thing or two about technical analysis for whatever reason. And I don't see a way this stays shy of, like, I mean, at this rate, because it formed the inverse right shoulder perfectly, even in the smaller time frame. I mean, if anybody watched this, does anybody see what I actually did here for that whole time? I was creating the base for that big move on a breakout. That was the base just from sitting right here. I don't know if anybody remembered when I did that. We created the base, though, if it came down. It came down, but now it creates the base. And that would be the breakout point. So now you literally flip this over, and now you got that short target. So, I mean, I don't see how this doesn't at least come up there at some point here. But if this is meant to be, and this is a wider pattern like we just drew out before this, this is going to come all the way the frig up. Like, this is going to come up. Like, initially we had, what, 128,000 or something. I think that target's probably still going to be able to be hit. I really do. Because we had the target out of that initial handle, this big cup. I don't know where it went. Oh, we circled it. Why isn't the level there still? I know we circled the range right in here. No, that's not even the top of it. It's higher. But that was the measuring of the cup. Here, I'm doing it again. Just to see what it says. Because now, we're actually moving in that direction. We already went through discovery. I'm just curious how far this would have brought us. Okay. And look where this wants to bring us. This wants to bring us, yeah, see, where I don't see how we don't hit that range. And then if we go higher, this is building an inverse head and shoulder on the fly. The funny thing is if you want me to be cheekish and be like, hey, you want to know how I think it could go down based on, okay, so when you watch this long enough, just think of the Matrix and you see code, right? You're like, da 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 da, steep hill, da 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 da, consolidation, da 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 da, head, da 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 da, up, up. Remember this formation where it came down? Now we invert the pattern, da 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 da, right? Up, 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 da 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 da. Well, what happened there? Well, you just created the hook, the head, and the right hook. But now you've simulated that drop right here. The computer code's happy and it marries on its merry way. That's what I see in my head. Like, oh, let's just think of this as computer code. I did that in the NBA the last 2 days and said you're not making a bet until the halftime, and you're going to go with this philosophy and you base it like this. What was it? 225 into 800, 225 into 875, back-to-back nights. And I'm not endorsing gambling, but I'm just saying, like, I like to look at it from a code perspective. I don't know if I can see comments. No. Maybe. No, there we go. I might get to finally sell my Ethereum Classic. So, what do you guys think of that? Did you learn anything or did it go over your head? Let's see. I hope you learned something here. I hope you learned something. If my friend is in the house, I do have my belt next to me, my Ohio State friend. Yeah, maybe I should just do this. And on today's update, what if I did this for my Ohio State friend? Oh yeah. What's that? What a night. What a night. Man, my back's heavy today. I can't. Feels like I put on some weight. I swear every time I go to the football or basketball game at my dad's house, now I'm bringing my belt. I haven't shown them, so. Oh yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. That's all I ever remember in my head when everybody says Macho Man now from when we were kids. But DGB, we're definitely gonna look at DGB. I got 2 million reasons to look at DGB. Well, 2 million tokens. I could be like Scrooge McDuck and literally swim in DGB at this point. What's going on here? We do have a nice reversal here from the death cross into a golden cross, and it's kind of just waiting for it to catch up with the moving averages. Sometimes you have to wait for it to catch up to itself. Oh, what is this belt from? Oh, this is from Michigan's 2023 national championship, you know. That's where it's from. Real talk. That's where it's from. It's kind of funny. I got all the time in the world for everybody. Let's see, Facebook. What's this? Oh, this is my, that's where I actually try to share my content. But on my regular Facebook, you can see what the belt looks like. See, that's the belt. Where's it at? See it? That's the belt right there. That picture doesn't do me any justice because it doesn't look like I have a single ounce of muscle on my body. But I like the picture because it's got the belt. Hey, Tom, what's that you got there on your shoulder? I love it. See, I knew if I put it on my shoulder, somebody would say something. No, I was just, my Ohio State friend's not here today in the audience. Not that he who laughs last the loudest, and they won the national championship this year. This would just be for Michigan's national title from 2023. I had it made in Dubai. The nicest belt you could possibly have made, in my opinion. And it took like 6 months to get, and I finally got it in 2025. Let's see. But I don't know. I don't see anything horrible with this. I'm going to put the belt down. I was just, I was trying to see if my friend was here, but he is not. I told him we should get him a belt. '1970 legend, in case you guys are wondering. He's a good dude. It's been 2,000 days since they beat Michigan, but you know. They beat us for like 4,000 days before that, so what the hell does it really matter? Anyhow, back to the technical analysis. Little toppy right here, but we're just kind of riding into this rising wedge. I mean, we broke down perfectly. Now we V'd out. This is what we want to see. Perfectly. Now we're just filling the formation out. Filling it out. Couldn't do anything until we break the resistance. But I'm telling you, once we break that resistance, we're coming up to 1.5 to try to retest this breakout. Just a thing of numbers, right? You guys should see my hallway. If that doesn't tell you I waited 25 years to be able to buy this shit, I don't think anything will. I have like the wall of fame when you walk down my little hallway. On the right side, the Michigan title wall. To the left side, my picture of the presidents from 1993 that my dad bought me that was in a big frame. Has all this shit on it, their salary and everything. He can't believe I still have it 32 years later. I'm going to enjoy it until I'm 75. God knows I had to enjoy my title from 97 until I was 40. From 13 to, or what? 97, I was 14 until I was, you know, 40. How's it going, Julie? Are you done already? Yeah. How long have I been on? I don't know. It's already been 35 minutes. Holy moly. You got done pretty quick today, didn't you? Yes, I think that was Randad who said that he doesn't see the charts like me, but that's why I get paid or not paid the big bucks, but that's why I don't remember what he said, something. But not long enough, Tom. No. Not long enough. But that's what we're working on with DGB. That is what we're working on. And that looks like a very nice consolidation at the end of a long term. And I want to make the bigger chart here. I've shown it in such a small scale just to make it easier. But if you just take it in the weekly, like you can see it formed the top, and like until we really get past here, there's not much that's going to happen for DGB, but that is a nice move up. That's why I have that top target up. We can't get the 3.7 until we start breaking these areas. So now if you take this same and we start moving it on, because I haven't updated it in a while, you move it over here. Now it's like 3.5. But we're trying to avoid that, you know, I'm just going to do this. I'm so sick of looking at just that in the small scale. We're going to just widen this up so you can see what I look at every day. This is what I'm always looking at. That's why I know even if it makes that short move, the reason why I want it down in this consolidation, and even if it breaks down, it breaks down. But I want it in this consolidation because I know the top of this consolidation, even if bearish, is up around 2 cents. So you figure, let's just say you bought the moving average and you're at an 8.6 right now. I mean, even if it gets rejected, that's 134%. From where it's at right now, even if it gets rejected and you're buying it down to that uptrend again, you're looking at 90% potential. So it's actually a little bit higher if I'm actually, yeah, it is a little bit higher. It's a slight bit higher. But then you start to be like, oh, well, Tom, couldn't that be a rising wedge? Well, that's what I said. Even if it gets rejected, you got all this upside potential. Now, couldn't I say it's just a rising triangle? Some people are, oh, it's never, Tom. Well, sometimes the price action just has a triangle that rises. Some would say, couldn't that be a bear flag? Well, that's why we got to get the 1.5 cents, okay? Jeez, what is this, the 5th degree here? What are you, Perry Mason? Back in Law and Order? I plead the 5th, damn it. But what I can tell you is that this might have created a left shoulder. This could be a head. And then if it does this, we've literally bounced it. If it goes boom, back to the uptrend, out, we created a inverse head and shoulders. Yes. So, a lot of stuff. A lot of people ask why XRP didn't just go up unabated. Why did it get hit and hammered by that 265? Well, the very easy and short answer could be we never filled the fair value gap at 229. We never back tested 238 where it's at in the current moment. So, I mean, there's some things that it might want to do. Am I happy with the way this is finishing out at the end of the day? Not exactly. Not exactly. But I'm not discouraged. It's just, you know, it tends to do what we talk about. And this is the part that we talk about that has the correction. That's all. We didn't have to talk about that before, but, you know, now we have to show it. Let's see. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to do something. Just out of curiosity. Okay. Tanya, I did not buy back on HBAR instead. I decided to buy 400,000 more DGB, or $4,000 or so. And that was like at 008 something on DGB, so I'm not mad about it. I have a love. I just have too big of a tug for DGB for some reason. I think that's I am the future Digibyte OG. So being an OG, you got to buy in when it doesn't seem even reasonable in ways. But yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. Not saying I don't have other things, but that's just I went that route. XRP Healthcare is up to 10.2 cents, back in double digits. Well, back over 10 cents at least. Up 5.22%. Still, nothing to get excited about, friends. Not, and right now HBAR has been moving nicely too, very nicely. But XRP Healthcare here looks like it is building this handle. If and when this finally breaks and we get over that resistance, we're going to be moving. And XRP Healthcare is trying in their social media, which is horrendous, on YouTube to try to get the marketing out. But they're trying the best they can, I suppose, to let you know, at least in code, on YouTube even, what their plans are for the future. They got less than 5,000 people subscribed. But I mean, it's XRP Healthcare. Not very many people know. Let's see. I know I seen it. Where was this post? It was from a few days ago. Might have been. So that was the mergers and acquisitions. I thought I just seen one. Maybe not. I swear I seen one. I was like, this is very interesting. I'll have to do it on my own time and check it. I swear I seen something though, not too long ago. Let's. Maybe I was reading the mergers and acquisitions. As global liquidity surges, XRP Healthcare IPO is launching. I already read that before. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it was something I read with the merger and acquisitions that I was remembering. But yeah, this is gonna be at some point. This is gonna be a huge one. And we bought it at 1.7 cents. I know some of there was some profit taken by some. There was massive profit to be made. I mean, this was one of the biggest ones. Buying it in the bear market and then watching it go up as much as it did was pretty incredible. I mean, it was insane. We'll just go from over there. I mean, you're talking. Some people are like, have you ever seen one that goes 10x or 20x before the cycle? Well, we had a 27x. So it was but I don't think that's anywhere near where it's gonna go. I'm just saying, I don't think that's anywhere near where it's gonna go. I think this one, when it's all said and done, is gonna be unbelievable. Yeah, I've got not too many more than you. I had about that many I bought, and then from the staking when they were allowing it, before it ran out of staking, which was all part of their roadmap, which I shared with everybody why I was staking, because there was only a limited time. It ended up growing it to about 63,000 roughly. I have my phone right here. I can see exactly. Because I keep it on the XRP Healthcare. It's the XRP Healthcare app. I keep my XRP in that wallet. I used to keep it on Zoom, but I decided to show some love to the XRP Healthcare. Since they incorporated XRP, I thought that was pretty swift. I have... What is this at? Wallet. Oh, there we go. 61,673 is what I have of XRP Healthcare. And on this wallet, I have 12,222 XRP in this wallet. Those are the only two things I have in this wallet. So as you can imagine, that wallet's nicely over 33,000, which is nice to see. I'm so glad you did take action, CJ2 Pilot. Can't you see the potential here? I think you can. I think everybody can. That's been a part of this for some time. And the cool thing is they're not affiliated with XRP in any way. They just chose the ledger to do the healthcare. And I think it's clever they call them, it's XRPH, XRP Healthcare. Because when sometimes when people invest, they're going to be like, oh, XRP's at $7 and this XRP healthcare is at 28 cents. I'm going to buy that. Because you buy anything that has XRP in the name. I'm telling you, that's what the average investor does that doesn't understand the chart. I was there once. Hey, this gold mine, its name is this. Well, there's one that has the same name and then, something slightly different at the end. Well, I'm going to buy this just because it's a penny stock versus the, but this, on the handle, what we're trying to do here is incredible. It's incredible. If that is what it just did, we're going to bounce up to the next segment. Then we're going to be talking about this 50% higher and saying, oh, buddy, we're back to a 10x. Oh, buddy, if it breaks out of this, we are going to go pretty high. Those are all your main targets up over the top. So I'll get excited when we're over the top. Well, I'll get excited when we go back to that double top area, which, remember, you always fill the gaps one way or the other. This happens to be a very high gap that was left because we filled all the lower gaps. We filled the lower gaps. That's why when we go back up, it's going to be a thing of beauty. But I hope all of you can feel the excitement, of what is building. And patience is a virtue. We've been doing this since March of 2021, March 24th to be exact of 2021. We have never missed a day. Did I not give you guys solid gold last Wednesday? Literally gold and silver. When I said I wholesaled my precious metal mining stocks for not my gold and silver precious metal holdings that I have physical metals. I've never sold a single ounce of gold or silver since I bought it, ever. It's my store of value. But my mining stocks I like to dick with. Well, since I got rid of them, B2 Gold's down from $3.28. Now it's down to $2.95 today. Pan America dropped 16%. And I gave the sell for everybody on Wednesday. And look what's happening. First Majestic's down from 640 and it's sitting at 586 right now. Fortuna was up at 630. It's at 555. Barrett was up at 22 and now it's at 18. It's had this same repetition of rinse and repeat. So now remember my proclamation Friday? I'm trying to get it to make that next layer down so that I can buy everything back at cost, have the exact same amount of shares I had and then some. But I want to take $8,000 out of the $40K that it built up to and pay myself. And I can do whatever I want with that $8,000. And I'll still have the same amount because if I was just holding them, I would still only have the same amount. So when people ask me why I don't short the market, this is my version of shorting the market. This is my version of doing something and getting over just by having the understanding of we're too hot and too fast. And when money flows from one, it has to go to another. And now that money is flowing into crypto, it has to come from somewhere. Now, with that being said, at some point we're going to have to start looking at it again. I just think it's probably early here. And that 4 hourly tells us a big story. That is not a reversal candle. That is actually a gravestone doji candle, which is actually relatively bearish right now, unless we can pull up. But right now, that's a pretty bearish 4 hour candle. I would expect gold to come down another layer because that invalidated that inverse head and shoulders. And because it did that, we were talking about a rising wedge that could have been, it was filled out, but we put it into an inverse head and shoulders to show both sides of this. But it almost looks like you could say maybe not a rising. Well, I don't know. It was building something weird. But it's bouncing around right now. But that inverse head and shoulders, I would say the integrity of that's broke right now. It could turn into something top heavy and then break out still. But that particular thesis, if you wanted to go by that, it's out. And it almost looks like a Batman top. And to me, I don't know how far we correct because we never touched that 2794. So it does make me a bit nervous that we could find ourselves back in that area. But I do think we've topped for a minute. Maybe. I think because of what's happening globally, I think this would be a good chance for gold to start coming down. A good time. I don't know if silver would catch up necessarily. But it looks like we're going to have a flip here And that could be when silver starts to get a little hot. So I'm looking very actively right now at the mining stocks again. So, you know, this is, I know a lot of people ask me about when to buy in mining stocks. And I said, if you're going to buy, you already missed it for that run up. Just wait for the obvious correction that has to happen. And now that we broke some support structures, we could find ourselves coming down a little bit farther. I do have an X account, but I don't actively do anything special on there. I just share my content. There's only like 1,300 follow. I don't share it at all. They used to shadow ban me. In the beginning, I was getting a lot of views, and then they, for whatever reason, kept putting stupid things before Elon bought it. So I stopped supporting it in a sense. But real quick, I want to go over ALGO because I got to get going. My son's got school and therapy tomorrow. And Julie just got done with this. So I want to help her with our next step of this process with our son. And then hopefully he'll get to bed at a good time. But it's been an honor and a privilege to be here with everybody this evening. Hope I was able to help. Hope I was able to share some stuff. ALGO right now, not horrible. It just depends what the market wants to do in the intermediate. Big inverse head and shoulders that's actively breaking out right now. We may very well have to come back to that retest zone. But I would be having an eye on, if you didn't buy yet, I'd start looking at that 20-cent area if it comes down. Or whatever it ends up hitting on the back of this descending breakout. But I think you can see an inverse head and shoulder breakout right now. And I think you can see it pretty universally across the board. And if you bear with me for just a minute, just look at it like this. Inverse head. Inverse left shoulder. This is the inverse head area. Inverse right shoulder. Now we might back test. And then if we do successfully, you're off to the races. And in this case, step 1, step 2. So, you're talking about a pretty big step up. So, but yeah, that's going to conclude the technical analysis side. I'm going to get going. I want to, like I said, I got some stuff to do. And then if it comes down, you could be looking at we could be looking for a 25% correction or so. Yeah, Zachary, you can send me an email. strutrugali@gmail.com. That's strutrugali@gmail.com. I always tell everybody, if you want to send me something, you can, and I'll share it on the air if it ever gets to my house. I've had people do it in the past, but nothing this year. Actually, nothing in 2 years? No, honey last year, right?
Yeah, you got Christmas last
2 years ago. But if you want to talk more personally with more people in the community, Telegram. Join the Telegram. It's right here on my homepage. I encourage everybody to use Bitunix. You can do the swing trading. They have XDC, so that's a big thing. And they have it back in the Google Play Store, so if you click the link, it'll go there. But XDC's there in spot, which is freaking phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Their lowest spot and leverage trading fees. You don't need a KYC or a VPN in the USA or worldwide. But you don't deposit or receive to a bank account. You send or receive an asset from another exchange and or wallet to fund the account and withdraw out of the account so you can get your money. So consider that. If you support my show, you can do a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. You can do a YouTube Super Chat or join Tom's Army. No donations tonight, but I've gotten donations